let's get on with the introductions for both our two players here. In the bottom left spawn position, playing for Team Acer, playing as Red and playing as Zerg. He's currently down a game. He's going to have to do something to bring it back. It is Paranoid. And in the top right spawn position, we've got his opponent from the Netherlands being able to win his first game by holding onto his Nexus, which had 3 HP at the most critical point in time. What an amazing first game. Will he be able to close series out 2-0, or are we going to go into today's match? In the top right, he is Pink, he is Protoss, it is Fanatics, Harstem.
And Harstem already showing a different look this game, putting the pylon on the low ground. An indication that while he may want to go Nexus first again, he is going to be not quite as worried about getting hit with some kind of cheese play. And you know, anything could happen. Paranoid and definitely not always a macro guy. You know, we're not going to see that sort of, how should I say, that ZVZ-ish style that we saw out of I can't even tell it Telfe, but Tefl in terms of always playing that safe macroeconomic opener. But Harstem does get that fast guy. He's going to try to deny some mining on the mineral patch. A little cute play there. Reminds me of good old Huck in the early days of Wings of Liberty, getting that APM up to 300 in the first couple of minutes. But he is continuing to just put out the probes, and it looks like Harstem's going to go for a Nexus first this map again.
Yeah, I talk about this a lot in when I'm casting for different tournaments and different events, that on old maps, we tend to see old strategies because players are so comfortable playing on that map. They've played the same strategies in Wings of Liberty for, I don't know, a year, maybe even longer on this map. So they know what works and they know what doesn't work on this map. So we might see a bit of a blast from the past, like an Immortal Sentry all-in is something that could work on this map that Harstem used to be a very big fan of. That's definitely something that I see Harstem doing here. What are you expecting out of Paranoid?
In all honesty, after the last game, Paranoid, I think, is going to be very on top of some kind of fast third base. If he thinks that Harstem's going to go for some kind of greed play again, I wouldn't be surprised if he went for some sort of 2-base play. He is going to open with 6 lings, possibly try to punish this Nexus first. Typically, you only see about 2 or 4 lings just so you can scout. Of course, Harstem is in a position to quickly block this if he needs to. But, and well, we do have that Forge finishing up. The cannon is about to start. The lings are making their way across the map. He's not even really looking for the probe. But in terms of what Paranoid's overall strategy would be on this map, I mean, Zergs are used to splitting it in Wings of Liberty, so those comfortable old strategies that you mentioned, not quite as viable, at least for Zerg on this map. We probably won't see any kind of big Broodlord Infestor Deathball towards the end of the game. I think maybe mid-game aggression with Roach Hydralisk, since he is going to take this third base without any gas geysers. I think going to be an economic opener either way.
Yeah, definitely. Economic opener. Harstem reacting perfectly there, just throwing down a pylon to buy his cannon some time to warp in. Not going to risk 4 lings running into your main base. And 4 lings would be super annoying to have in your main. Like 1 ling is fine, 2 is fine, 3 is annoying, and 4 is starting to become a really big risk. You have to dedicate so much APM and so much time to dealing with those lings with your probes that you're going to lose a lot of mining time, lose a lot of focus. So he doesn't want to have anything of the like. So nicely done there, blocking the links from any type of entrance. What I'm watching right now for Harstem is he going to start his +1 again? He has not started his +1 on the Forge just yet, starting the Cybernetic Warp Gate research first, and there's the +1. So once again, not going for a Stargate play, I think.
Yeah, and he also threw a quick chrono boost onto that as well. So he may be looking to go for some kind of timing. This is a map where a little bit more, the more aggressive builds, the Sentry Immortal is going to be a little bit more viable. Not so sure if that's what he's going to be choosing to go for. I feel like he would have already tried to get that Robo up. But he is producing Sentries now, not going for any kind of early Stalkers. And the double gas being taken at 6 minutes. This is about as standard as it gets for Zerg versus Protoss. I mean, at about 100 gas, like Lair, going for Zergling speed if you want to play Roaches is not really as important, but that'll also be a big tell what he does at the first 100 gas. Oftentimes we do see a lot of players, if you guys ever tune in, like players like Hyun will go straight into Lair, throw out a Roach Warren, throw out an Evolution Chamber, get a quick +1 and move into Hydralisks. But another gas being taken for Paranoid at his natural expansion, and we're going to have to see what he wants to do here, but still no tech building yet for Harstem. Oh, and as I say that, he throws down a Twilight Council. Could this be a quick +2?
That's not what I expected out of Harstem at all, really. I was thinking, is it going to be the Robo? Where's the Robo? Is it going to be a Immortal Sentry all-in? That does work very well on this map. I mean, he has been producing sentries. He did get the 2 gases pretty early on, so he's now on 4 gas mining. And he's getting a Twilight Council. I mean, yeah, what is he doing? Is that just for a quick +2 and maybe a Zealot, Stalker, Archon attack? It's hard to call right now. Or is he gonna try and go for Dark Templars and expand off of 4 gateways and do a bit of Dark Templar pressure? I don't know. Could be anything, really.
It's a bit of an interesting setup as we see somewhat of a different build from Paranoid, going for the fast 1-1 with those evolution chambers instead of getting an earlier lair. So he's going to be somewhat good on the upgrades. He's going to have a good number of Zerglings, but it does look like Harstem, well, he's now adding on a robotics facility. I feel like since there's no blink coming in, this could just be for a 3-3, like a +3 attack, possibly Colossus timing with the Robo. I'm honestly not 100% sure this is a very interesting build decision from him. He's going to try to get this 3rd base up and a Hallucinated Phoenix to scout, but the fact that there's no upgrade on the Twilight Council and a Robo really makes me think that this is not a +2 timing, but possibly being saved for a bit later with this 3rd Nexus on the way.
Yeah, we have seen people do that, with a really quick +2, Zealot Archon attack with a lot of sentry support and basically hit them before they got any kind of really important tech out. But you're right, Harstem not doing anything of the sort, and Harstem's going to be defending his 3rd base once more. The Zerglings run right past. Oopsie daisy, that Zealot was not paying attention, and a lot of the probes in the main base are going to fall. Zealots being warped in as an emergency, of course, but these Lings are definitely doing some damage. If nothing else, they are preventing a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah, and Photon Overcharge has to be activated as well to defend the natural. The Zealots being led around a little bit, and I think even more interestingly now, we have a Templar Archives coming in, so nothing out of that Robo. Yeah, he's using the Phoenix to scout, not really any Observer play. Perhaps he just wants to be safe against something like a Swarmos transition or something of that sort, but this is very interesting. And now a Spire coming up for Paranoid, and we could see a lot of Mutalisks possibly preparing for Colossi, since he did see that robotic facility, but a lot of Zerglings on the field. And ooh, a Pneumaticized Carapace and Ventral Sacs. We could see some Zergling Baneling drops here.
That would definitely be a cool thing to watch. Do we have a Baneling Nest already out on the field?
I don't think we do. The Phoenix did scout that Spire. I'm getting so caught up trying to look at this. We have a double Stargate all the way now coming for Harstem in his main base after scouting that Spire. And Charge is about to finish up. These Zerglings trying to find a hole to run in, but these Zealots are pretty well upgraded. And yeah, he's not even started his +3 attack, so it was just for a quick +2. Very interesting build by Harstem. Not really going for any kind of timings, more so defensively having that +2 so he could make sure to kill Zerglings if Paranoid did choose to attack him. But at the same time, he's going to take a 4th and a 5th base, Lyrian.
Very ballsy play here. Going to be double expanding off his Mutalisks. They should be hitting the production tab in just a second. Look at all the Overlords in the top. He's going to do a huge Zergling drop in the main base of Harstem. They're definitely teamed up there. The Zerglings waiting for that Ventral Sex to finish up. The Overlord speed upgrade is already done. The first Phoenix are on the way, though. If they intercept that, might be dangerous. Of course, Paranoid knows there's a double Stargate on the way, but he is still going to go ahead and produce the 15 Mutalisk. For a second, I was thinking maybe he's going to switch into something else. He knows double Phoenix production is on the way and that he might get hard countered, but he's still going to go for it. 15 Mutas in the production tab, and the drop is getting ready to go.
This drop could do a lot of damage. There's actually a little bit of an Artosis pylon on those Stargates, but it's a long way to go to get the Zerglings over there. Cannons are here to defend as well. The Mothership Core can use Photon Overcharge. The Hallucinated Phoenix scouting out the rest of the information at the main, but now getting in. 1 cannon down, 2nd cannon under attack, 3rd cannon possibly going to go as well, and a lot of lost mine time is going to be here for Harstem with these Zerglings. He's just going to try to get a quick surround on this Nexus and possibly snipe it. I do not think he's going to be able to get it, though. These Zealots do have quite a bit of upgrades. He's going to throw the force fields, and Harstem, he's actually going to have his 3rd Nexus sniped at the same time. The Mutalisks and Zerglings running in there as well, and he will get that Nexus. A really nice catch for Paranoid, and Harstem's going to get slowed down quite significantly here.
Oh, loses the Mothership Core 2 to the Mutalisk Mothership Core in a bit of a weird position, so no photon or overcharges anymore, no recalls to different Nexi that could be attacked by the Mutalisk. That was pretty big there, taking out that Mothership Core, and Harstem now down to 2 bases, like you said, Nathanius. But the drone count for Paranoid, he's not got his 5 bases saturated yet, so the game isn't... Ooh, that's Sentry! Oh, full energy Sentry goes down. A few missed rallied Mutalisks here. Ooh, and a few of them falling. So a bit of a mistake there about Paranoid. Loses a few mutas that he had on the wrong waypoint. These Phoenix intercepting the Overlords in the middle of the map. Full with Zerglings. Oh, but they don't know that.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this is some pretty nice creative play here from Paranoid. I really like using the drops with those Mutalisks. He just has the fully mobile army, but the Phoenix count is rising for Harstem. With good control, he can fight the Mutalisks pretty well. He does not have a fleet beacon though. Keeping that in mind, there's no Anion Pulse Crystals, there's no Phoenix range upgrade anywhere near close to even starting. So Harstem is going to need some very, very good control to be able to engage these Mutalisks. And there's a lot of Zerglings, but you know, these +2 Zealots, they are going to be able to do a bit of damage. The +2 armor is done, so it should be a fairly even fight, but looks like Paranoid would rather go for a base trade.
Yeah, Paranoid's going to be attacking, might be intercepting some reinforcements. That Zealot and 2 Stalkers are going to get out of there, and the base trade is going to be initiated. Of course, it's a difficult thing to base trade, and what is Harstem going to do? He's actually going to go back. He's hoping to do significant damage with his Zealots in the 3rd, and the Zealots attacking the middle base, and if he keeps his natural alive, maybe this is going to work out, but it's going to be a hell of a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, looks like that natural nexus, it will fall. At the same time, Harstem has actually cleaned up all the drones off that 3rd base. He's cleaned up the 4th base, but you know, looking at the supply, it tells a different story about who's really being successful here, especially with that 3rd base about to get sniped as well by these Mutalisks. The main nexus, Harstem, he's just going to lose all of his Nexi. Possibly, I mean, he can get the rest of his army over to that 3rd base. He could be able to protect that, but that's also his most open base now, and it has been quite heavily injured. But the Phoenix look like they should be able to push this away.
Yeah, Phoenix are going to push that out. The Mutas are caught between a rock and a hard place, though. The Corruptors are all going down. Their bodyguards have gone down, and now they're getting to the soft and squeezy part of these Mutas. The Mutas are definitely all forfeits. So that's good for Harstem. Has been able to eliminate pretty much the entire air army. Actually, there's more Mutas have been in production. There's still 14 Mutalisks on the map. I don't know if I agree with that, Paranoid, going that heavy on the Mutalisks, even though you just lost all your Mutas to the Phoenix.
Yeah, it kind of feels like his decision-making with that. Like, he wants to force an engagement that Harstem can't run away from. So he can't kite the Mutalisks, because if he leaves the Mutas alone, they'll just kill the Nexus. Or it could also just be purely for defensive purposes, but the Archon will rip into them, and he's trying to go for a counterattack. There are 4 Spines here, a couple Corruptors and Zerglings, and Harstem, he needs to make something happen, as we do have a bunch of Zerglings running over to that 3rd base once again, and that is basically the last stronghold of Harstem. Is he going to be able to hold on to this? For now, he will, but these Phoenix are chipping away what they can. But Paranoid, he is definitely in the better economic position. He's been able to drone up that base, but these charge lots are going to besiege this hatchery, throwing down some great force fields to tie these units up and do a little bit. Trying to move through a little water faucet there. That's how tight that was. But these Zerglings are going to go after the natural nexus that is attempting to be rebuilt, and so much counterattacking going on here from Paranoid. Harstem might be able to kill some drones, but Paranoid has just enough to be able to hang in this game and sustain his losses without falling behind, really. He still has hatcheries on the field. I like that Harstem's leaving these Zealots behind to try to make sure that there are no drones at these bases, but this big Zergling attack from Paranoid, if he takes out one at this Nexus, this could basically be it. It's his last Nexus. He actually doesn't have enough money to make another Nexus. He cannot lose this.
Oh, no. No, if he loses this, he's going to lose it. Yep. Harstem down to 140 minerals, and he will not be able to establish himself any kind of income. So he has one option, and that is to counterattack, base trade, and hope for the best. He's not going to be able to rebuild any kind of economy. Does he have any probes left? Yes, he has 16 probes left, so he will be able to construct a few pylons, a few assimilators to buy some time. But this is it. Harstem's money's out.
He just warped in a Zealot. He won't be able to build any buildings anywhere, actually, now. He warped in one more Zealot to join his forces, and the issue here, this is where the Mutalisk part of the game becomes very fun for Paranoid, because if Harstem wants to put on any pressure, he needs those Phoenix to defend his army from the slowly rising Mutaforces, and Well, if he has his forces there, then these Mutas can go for counterattacks. And look, Paranoid running more Zerglings along the bottom side. I will say, though, Paranoid doesn't have much left by the way of additional economy. He's got what's left of his natural, the few scraps left in his main base. Some of these patches have, what, 5 minerals, 10 minerals, so his main will be gone very shortly in terms of resources left. And I feel like you want to go for a little bit more of a conservative army style. If you could afford to switch into something that has a little more staying power versus the Phoenix, something a little bit more like Roaches and Hydralisks, rather than Mutalisk Corruptor, where these Phoenix micro can kind of buy Harstem a second life. The other problem, though, the Phoenix can't kill buildings. So this is just such a tense situation to be in as the Protoss player, because theoretically, if he played this perfectly, he could force some sort of situation where he could either get a draw or be able to win the game, but it's going to be so hard.
Yeah, I think Paranoid does have the upper hand in this. Yeah, like you said, he doesn't have that much gas and minerals left in his natural, but he has some. He will be able to produce another, I don't know, 10 Mutalisks at least, and still have money to expand. He'll be able to throw a root up his Spinecrawlers and position them at his third, and at some point, Harstem's going to be forced to attack in here and hope for the best. He has an Archon, but he has an Archon, 4 Stalkers, and his Phoenix. That's basically all the anti-air he's got, and Paranoid, he's going for it. The Phoenix are working their way with these Mutas, but there's so many Corruptors. The Corruptors are taking down every Phoenix one by one. There's just a bunch of Zealots left. There's not enough anti-air, and Harstem knows it. He is going to be forced to GG out.